My name is Bhagwan Chaudhary. I'm a professor of finance at the Indian School of Business, ISB. Today, I'm speaking with Professor Shashwat Alok, who is also a professor of finance at ISB. Um, Today, we are discussing this issue of what are the different costs of this lockdown that we are in or not to have a lockdown. How do you weigh the costs and benefits, and how do you come up with these trade-offs? So Shashwat, um, different countries vacillated on this idea. For example, England first decided that they were going to go with herd immunity and not try this. And then they soon changed their mind, and now they are saying, yes, we are going to have a lockdown. President Trump also said, oh, we can't close things down. What do you think is going on there?
I feel that there is obviously some reason to be scared about the spread and the virality of coronavirus. But part of the lockdown may be driven by political pressure. At the very least, we would need to start by simulating the counterfactual world, where if you enforce a lockdown, what are the human life impact of such a lockdown? I mean, one, we know that there are going to be job losses. There may be move towards automation in future. There is a current migrant crisis in India. There are a lot of vulnerable populations that are being impacted by this lockdown without job, without easy access to food like many of us. So it's at a first glance, it's not very clear to me whether lockdown is the way forward. I just wanted to open up the discussion by arguing that maybe we need to first quantify the cost on both sides. Down, they need to go back to the villages where there may not be sufficient medical care. There may be issues of malnutrition for kids being born during the coronavirus itself. All of this is going to take a lot toll on human capital and human lives around the world. And this is just the economic, caused by the economic consequences of enforcing a lockdown.
Yeah, so you're saying it's not that, people won't have enough to eat, but at the margin, there will be some malnutrition and some kids may die. And as we see big migration of movement of people, some people may die in that process itself. You were telling me earlier that during this migrant crisis, there were some lives lost already. Is that correct?
Yes. So I read some newspaper articles which puts the estimates of number of migrants that died during this crisis between Delhi and UP, and the number is about 17 to 29.
Okay, so that's a big number.
Okay. That's a big number, given the number of deaths caused due to coronavirus in India is also not very high as of yet.
Okay, so maybe the way to think about it is that when people are giving us models of how this crisis is going to unfold, if we do lockdown versus not, how the cases are going to go, I think what you're suggesting is that those models also need to take into account, they need to model what will happen with the lockdown in terms of other things, which are not directly related to corona, but yet have health and mortality consequences.
Exactly. So yes, so there are a lot of models by people who are expert in their area, simulating the number of deaths, the spread of the disease over time. At the same time, we need similar simulated models for the human lives lost or the health impact of the economic lockdown itself. And only when we have that, we'll be able to figure out whether we need a lockdown we can afford a lockdown as a world of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. When do we restart again? And what do we need to think about when we restart the economy?
So tell me, how would one go about doing that? So it's one thing to theoretically say, yes, there are going to be lost lives and other consequences. But if you wanted to actually do it as a researcher, how would you go about quantifying those lives lost because of lockdown?
I think there are crude ways to quantify it. We could look at historical data, see how when a country grows, the per capita income grows, fertility rate in those countries come down. We can figure out for a 1% increase in GDP, what is the savings in terms of life saved, in terms of health impact, in terms of lowering malnutrition. And then we can look at different periods of lockdown. What will be the economic impact of those lockdown and translate those economic numbers into health impact and human lives. And
thank you, Shashwat, for talking to me.
Thank you, Bhagwan. Great talking to you.